Have you been watching these Guitar Hero style piano videos and thinking to yourself, how am I supposed to learn from that? Actually, it's super easy. I'm gonna show you right now.
The first thing we need to do in order to learn from a MIDI lesson is to identify the scale or the key in which a song is played. This simply means that from the 12 notes you can possibly play, we're now going to select 7 that are the main notes of this song. Let's see if we can identify 7 notes. The blue notes are being played in the left hand, the green notes are being played in the right. I like to look at the blue notes first. If there's black notes involved, like here, it doesn't matter if we write the notes down in flat or sharp, we will get to that later. So right here I can see an F sharp. I can also see a C sharp, what appears to be a G sharp and a B. If I can't find any other notes quickly, I'm going to resort to the right hand as well. I can see an A, an E, and then here I can see an E flat. So now we have all of these random notes laying around. And the first thing we want to figure out is if we need to use sharps or flats. This is super easy. Put them in alphabetical order. So now we have A, B, C sharp, E flat, E, F sharp, and G sharp. Now this is weird. We don't have a D and we have the E twice. So we need to get rid of one of the 2 E's. Let's get rid of the E flat and turn that into a D sharp. Now it makes a lot more sense. Now obviously this would have been a lot easier if the notes were simply shown on the piano below as well as on the notes raining down. Luckily, I have over 1,000 MIDI lessons available, just like this. Check the description box down below. So now that we know that we're dealing with sharps, let's figure out which kind of scale this is. I like to just play the scale as is to listen for the correct starting note, but there's more advanced ways to do this. If this is going too quick for you, you want to learn more about it, check my piano course in the description box below. But for now, let's play through the scales. So starting on A. That sounds a little weird. Let's move the A to the back and see if we can start on B. That's also not really what I'm looking for. Let's move the B to the back and now let's start on C sharp. Now this sounds correct. This sounds like a C sharp minor scale. If you don't know what a minor scale sounds like, you may want to keep on going with D sharp and then the E until you basically reach that E major scale. The E major scale is the relative scale to the C sharp minor scale. If you don't know what that means and you want to learn more about that, again, watch my piano course in the description box below.
So now that we've figured out the scale, the next thing we need to look at are the chords.
In order to find the chords, I have a really neat trick. Pay attention right now. So we have all of the notes on the screen. It doesn't matter if this is the minor scale or the major scale. You simply take any note, you skip a note, you take a note, you skip a note, you take a note, boom, you have all your chords right there. Take, skip, take, skip, take. 3 notes for all the chords. For the minor and the major scale, we will have 3 major chords, 3 minor chords, and a diminished chord. So let me resolve them for both C sharp minor as well as E major right now on the screen. That's how you get your chords. If I take an easy lesson, I use 5 chords, and if I make a medium or an advanced lesson, I use power chords. So this is a 5 chord. We take the root of the chord, which is the name of the chord, and then we remove the middle note from the major or the minor chord, and we end up with the 5th. So basically you only have to play 2 notes. If we play a more advanced lesson, we're going to take power chords. So we're going to take the root, the 5th, and we add another root on top to make it sound a bit more full, if you will.
Great, so by now you know how to find the scale as well as the chords, but we still need to know which order to play those chords. So let's have a look at the chord progression.
So in order to find the first chord progression, you move to the beginning of the song, you look at the notes coming down, and I focus on that left hand. Almost every single time, the first note that starts playing is the root position of the chord. So the first note is A, and then we have E, A, E, A, E, A, basically giving us an A chord, an A5 chord, or an A power chord. Then the next pattern we can see is C sharp, G sharp, C sharp. That leads to a C sharp power chord, and then the next one is B, F sharp, B, and the one after that is also B, F sharp, B, meaning the chord progression for this song to start off with is A, C sharp, B, and B. Depending on how the MIDI is being played, that could be an A major chord, a C sharp minor chord, and then a B major chord twice, When playing 5 chords, it could be A5, C sharp 5, and then B5. And for the power chords, the same goes. We could have an A power chord, a C sharp power chord, and then a B power chord twice. You can keep on doing this throughout the entire song to identify the chord progressions. Sometimes we only have one chord progression, sometimes a few, and usually these chord progressions repeat.
Now that we know the scale, the chords, and the chord progression, it's time to look at what we're actually playing in both the left and the right hand. So let's look at that right now.
By learning that chord progression, you can learn your left hand really quick, and now you have a structure on which to build your right hand. Then, in order to learn the melody line, there's no way around this. You can either do this as I do by ear, or you're gonna simply have to look at all of the notes in the right hand. Keep in mind that in 99% of the cases, the right hand will still follow this scale. So we only have 7 notes to pick from: C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and B, and that's how the melody line is built up. Look through the entire MIDI, and keep in mind, on my website all the notes are visible. This is going to make it so much easier for you.
Hope you enjoyed this. If you can't wait to start learning piano from MIDI, subscribe to the channel. I release a new lesson every day. For now, keep playing.